Today's class I consider a very important topic, although maybe not necessarily for everyday conversation, but it is to understand the concept clearly. It's how numbers or big figures are organized and used in Spanish, right? When I mean big figures, I mean like billions, trillions and that. And while we may not use these in everyday conversation, however, when we are reading the news, especially news related to economics, there we see or we read these huge figures a lot, okay? And I see that Spanish news that are translated from English are imprecise very often, and I'll tell you why. In English, 1 billion is how many zeros? We have 3 zeros for the thousands, 6 zeros for the millions, 9 zeros for the billions, right? So, therefore, 1 trillion would be 3 zeros more, right? So, this is for the units, 3 zeros for the thousands, 6 zeros for the millions, 9 zeros for the billions, and 12 zeros for the trillions, okay? So again, don't think this is ridiculous. I mean, I know we don't use this in everyday conversation, but we do read about it, or we do write about it if we are journalists or if we are just normal people reading financial information, okay? Which happens to me a lot. Okay, so for quadrillions would be 3 more zeros, quintillions, 3 more zeros, etc. So in English we just add 3 more zeros, okay? And we continue escalating. Now in Spanish. Now comes Spanish. Look how different this is, and how different the actual number, the actual figure can become if we don't use the correct name for it. Look at this. So, for 1 million, there's no problem. Un millón, okay? Un millón is 1 million. It's six zeros as in English. So, 1, of course, the units, 3 zeros for the thousands, 6 zeros for the millions, okay? So far, so good. Well, just remember that while in English we use the comma to separate the thousands, so the 3 zeros in English are separated by commas, okay? And the decimals in English are separated by the dots, right? In Spanish, it's the other way around. In Spanish, we use the dots to separate the 3 zeros, the thousands, and we use the comma for the decimals. So, remember that. Now, if we add 3 more zeros, look what happens. Look. Here we have the thousands, now we have the millions, now we have the billions in English, right? However, this is mil millones. Mil millones. Mil means 1,000. So, this in English is called 1 billion. In Spanish it is called 1,000 millions. Okay? It's also called, it has another name, un millardo. Un millardo. Okay? So these two names are synonyms. However, usually this one is used more often. This one is used much less, but they mean the same thing. Now let's add 3 more zeros. Look, 3 zeros for the thousands, 6 zeros for the millions, 9 zeros for the billions in English, or thousands of millions in Spanish, and 12 zeros would give us billions in English. Sorry, trillions. These are trillions in English. In Spanish, however, this would be un billón. Un billón. So look at the confusion. If a journalist is translating financial data of GDP growth or whatever, right? And he reads in English, or he hears in English, that he hears $1 billion, say, okay? $1 billion. This is 1 billion. Then he clumsily translates this as un billón de dólares. Okay? There are 3 more zeros in this statement than there is in this one, right? Un billón, 1 billion is a huge figure, but it's 1,000 times bigger if you say un billón in Spanish. Okay? So, and when you're talking of trillón, look at this. Un trillón. Let's see how many zeros we have here. We have 3 zeros for the thousand. Sorry, in Spanish I should use the dot, not the comma. Okay? The dot. 3 zeros for the thousands, 6 zeros for the millions, 9 zeros for what we call thousands of millions, 12 zeros for what we call in Spanish billones, or in English trillions. Now, if I add 3 more zeros, it's just thousands of billones. So, miles de billones. So, 3 more zeros to have un trillón. So, look at this. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We have 18 zeros is for un trillón, while in English 1 trillion has only 12 zeros. Okay? So imagine what magnitude of grotesque errors and mistakes you can see when translating clumsily data and figures from English to Spanish, or from Spanish to English, if you are not aware of this difference with big, huge figures between English and Spanish. So this is the focus of today's class. If you have any questions, don't hesitate to write, and I'll be glad to reply. Thank you.